Okay, good day folks. This is Ray here in Chiang Rai, and I'm meeting with Damien, who's a relative newcomer, but he wanted to come and share his experiences, so meet Damien.
Sawadee krap.
But before we begin, if you are retiring in Chiang Rai and need help, my wife Jen is a great time, stress and money saving resource. Her contact details are in the description below. So, Damien, what brings you to this part of the world?
Well, I am trying my hand at retirement. I guess early retirement by some people's standards. And before and after COVID and the lockdown in the United States, I was going to different countries that were getting high marks among expatriates. And the expats were saying things like, oh yeah, you got to check out Buquete, Panama. And that was great, though not as affordable as maybe it used to be. And I didn't like the food, Panamanian food. And then there was Ecuador, Cuenca. The altitude was too high, and I was just getting like short of breath trying to exercise even there. I went to Czech Republic, and it was exotic and interesting. And Thailand just kept ringing number one for me. It was I love the food, the people, the culture. I mean, for me, the Buddhist culture is it's exotic, and it's also very attractive to me. I like a lot of the philosophies of it, and I've studied it over the years and very much appreciate it and wanted to learn more, so that meant a lot. And growing up, I was born in what is, I think, now the 5th most expensive city in the United States, which is Santa Barbara, California. And now my father used to say, his name is Raymond too, my father used to say that Santa Barbara is for the almost wed and the almost dead. If you get serious about life, you want to build a life, get out. And so I was the first to go. And yeah, and then I moved to Reno, Nevada, which is just on the other side of the border from like Lake Tahoe up in northern California, but there in Nevada. And I enjoyed it was a smaller town then. And I've been practicing real estate there, playing in a band, playing music, having fun. And it's been a good life, and it's treated me well. But without getting into politics or anything like that, I just feel like they're pitting us against each other. I just had to get out. And I was, when you've been in a relationship or in a situation or a job where everything you look at, everything you touch says go. Get out. And I was getting to that point, so I'm like, okay, I've got to get out while I can. And I read a book about a year before I split, and it was called Die with Zero. It was by Bill Perkins. And then I reread it because it was really good. Okay, I confess it was a book on tape, but I listened to it again. And it was inspiring to me that I could, if I did the numbers, if I really started to get a spreadsheet out and look at my numbers of what it was costing me to stay in the United States, and what I could do, how early I could retire. Yeah, it would never be perfect. I could keep waiting for the perfect situation, and it would never come. And then as I get older, I'm 61, and as I get older, my health deteriorates or something like that. Then the things that I wanted to do, like ride a motorbike in the beautiful green hills of northern Thailand, that would go away. But some things that I could do later on in life wouldn't go away. Like I enjoy watching movies. You like movies. And there's going to be plenty of time to watch movies. Yeah, I can imagine. And as our memories fade, right? But hey, I've never seen this one. Yeah, you have.
So, I just finished watching a whole series I'd seen before, didn't
yeah, so that's something we can do later. But I still do it now, of course. But things that I don't want to put off anymore that I wanted to do. So If you're following real estate or interest rates in the United States, they've gone up. Real estate has slowed down in a lot of areas, and so it kind of confirmed, like, yeah, okay, kind of a perfect storm here for me to go. So I hired a property manager, and he found a good tenant to rent my home to in the United States. And I'll be darned, it's helping me. It's not paying for all of it, but once you get here, you start spending a lot less, don't you? Yeah. So I mean, pleasantly surprised with so many bills that were so high before: insurance, cell phone, internet, dining out, things that you were just doing. Rent, definitely rent, or housing costs. So all of a sudden, when I knocked it down and did the spreadsheet, I realized this is doable. I can make this happen. The biggest challenge I had was that I was in love with a Cocker Spaniel. my 4-year-old Cocker Spaniel. He's just a lovable dog, and so I caught myself worrying more, Ray, about getting him here safely than I needed to. He was fine. You have to jump through a lot of hoops. The timeline has to be absolutely perfect as far as getting the paperwork and the vet check and the inoculations, all the stuff. But as far as like the plane ride, he was fine. He was in his dog carrier flight case, and he got out and he wanted a treat, so it was fine. And now I have those pinch myself moments where, hey, his name's Pai. I'm named him after a little town here in Thailand. And I say, hey, Pai, we're here. We're in Thailand. What do you think? He's like, treat? So, his mindset's, what he worries about is a lot different than what I worry about.
Did you have to put the dog in quarantine? Do they have quarantine here?
They do, but that's only if you don't satisfy their requirements. So if you do everything right, we got him checked through at Savarnabhum, was the airport. Suvarnabhumi, thank you. Airport there in Bangkok. Old Swampy. The most visited airport in the world, I'm told. That's what I'm told, yeah. And that Bangkok is also the most visited city in the world for medical tourism. Yeah, not surprising. But pricing, if anything. But then what I did, and this was a smart move if you're traveling here with a dog, is rent a car and driver. Instead of maybe getting a puddle jumper with one of the small local airlines that may not understand dogs as much. Japan Airlines did a really good job of getting me from Seattle, Washington, where I left from, through Tokyo to here. And but you have to, it was great to rent a car and drive. I think it cost maybe the equivalent of about $400 US for a driver to take me on a 10-hour journey, me and the dog, one way up to Chiang Rai, and it's great. I really like it here. And I just gotta say, Ray, I'm not pandering to this guy, but his videos really, it's helped to inspire me. I mean, we all read books and check videos. Patty Doyle of Next Level Adventures, he inspired me quite a bit as well, and just watching him ride his motorbike up through the provinces into the green hills, and I was like, yeah, that, yes, yeah. When your heart just sings about something, and then when I got here and did it on my own motorbike, it was like Disneyland made a ride just for me. That this I could do this all day, all night. It was really, really inspiring for me. So. Yeah, now I'm going on month 3 here, so you could tell I'm still in the honeymoon stage, right? But people are friendly. It seems like every week I discover a new dish that is my favorite new dish that I'd never even heard of in the United States. There's a lot of things I don't miss about the United States. There's a level of intensity there that it's just a buzz that's all around you. It just feels like it's in the air. Maybe it's worse in bigger cities, but mine was, I suppose, a medium-sized metropolitan area, about 300,000 people. But it was always just kind of a constant stress that you don't even recognize that it's there. And I feel like I'm in come down, where I'm just kind of starting to mellow out finally. And it's and there's nothing that can go wrong in my day here that a good foot massage won't fix. Well, that's what, about $8 US or whatever. Okay, an hour of that, and I'm ready to get on with my day.
So what have you noticed as far as major differences between the US and living here? I know you're still in your honeymoon.
Yeah. Well, no, they're every bit the same. I really want for nothing. The owner of that Mexican restaurant we were talking about previous, Sabrosa, he said it really well. In Chiang Rai, you've got one of everything, and what more do you need? You don't have to get all obsessed about having the something you can't have. There's if you were used to getting whatever you need off of Amazon.com or something, there's Lazada.com here, and you can get a lot of things. Once they can figure out how to deliver to your address, if it's weird or hard to find, you're good. But it also kind of showed me something that is the same that I brought with me, the invisible suitcase of well, I had a shopping addiction, but probably not as fierce as some people.
That didn't become lost by
Yeah, it will be. But it's like, yeah, well, I went from Amazon to Lazada. It's like, do you really need that thing? Yeah, you need that thing. Okay, buy one. Whereas like before, well, no, now I got to have one in every room because I'm going to have to go to the next room to get it. It's like, that's just a weird thing that you don't need. And so I'm asking myself now more, do you need it? And a lot of it is spending money. You get used to spending money in the United States, and we're all kind of hypnotized to just keep doing it. And so you get here, and you kind of you feel like you should be reaching into your wallet all the time, but you don't have to.
used to call that retail therapy.
Right. And I used to laugh at other people who I thought had it. They were always buying clothes and stuff like that. Here you can't even buy clothes. They don't fit you.
You talk about shopping on Lazada. I want to mention something. This is important for everybody.
Okay.
It's okay to buy common, everyday use things on Lazada, but don't buy any expensive equipment. Because if you do, you're going to send it back to a seller who probably knows nothing about the equipment and can't fix it anyway. I'm going through this right now.
Oh.
Coffee machine, $15,000 coffee machine.
Oh, fancy.
And I'll never ever
Yeah.
buy anything like that from Lazada again.
Yeah.
Everything else fine, macaroni and cheese,
Uh-huh.
etc. Yeah.
Vegemite. Australian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The things that I can't get in, macro or big soup.
Yeah, yeah. One thing, yeah.
Be careful of heavy equipment.
I will. And it's like, if you think you're ordering, I was told by a friend, if you think you're ordering a JBL speaker, make sure it's not a JLB speaker. Or whatever. Yeah, you got to kind of confirm that it's the right stuff. But yeah, there's that. And then, Facebook Marketplace actually can work here. And I recently bought a bass guitar. I'm a musician, and that's one thing I missed, was playing bass. And so found a guy up by the Golden Triangle, and he was selling a bass for a reasonable price. So I got on the motorcycle, rode an hour, tried it out, strapped it to my back, then brought it here to a luthier who's going to go through it and tune it up and get it right for me. But so you don't always have to buy stuff. But I have to realize it's like, okay. Then I bought my motorcycle, my scooter, because it's not. You don't need much. There's no hill that's so steep that you've got to have a Harley 1000 or something. It's I've got it's 160 cc Honda scooter, and it's doing just fine. So there's, and then when I bought that, I said, okay, I'm done spending money for a while. But it's like you kind of still feel that itch if you're a Westerner. You just kind of like, you're so used to just consuming that like I have to watch that addiction now and just kind of be aware of it and deal with it, and it's but you asked about the differences. You know what I miss? Okay, I'm looking at your lens right now. I'm looking dead into it. Is that when Thai people look at you, they look directly into your eyes, and they smile with their eyes. Now, I don't know what's behind that or what they're thinking. That's privy to them, but there's a directness that is so welcome and so inviting. Whereas it's almost like the 2-second rule in the United States. Like if I'm looking at you, 1001, 1002, anything beyond that would be considered rude or invasive or creepy. Okay. So it's just different culturally, and I very much celebrate that difference.
Yeah, many people have a lot of problems with this culture because they want to bring their ways to Thailand, and it's not working. It does not work. It never will work.
It's like bringing food to a buffet.
Yeah, it's kind of like going to a restaurant with a steak and saying, "Cook this." But this culture is very different. You either adapt to it and get used to it, or
Yeah, right.
There's no in between.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta talk about the my pet my attitude.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very important. If you're gonna be happy here,
Yeah.
you need to adapt.
Yeah.
You can't. It's like, if you took a lady from here, a man, and took him to America, you would expect him to adapt.
Right.
And they expect the same.
And expecting it to not be rough around the edges is unreasonable.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be, and enjoy that. Enjoy the fact that like at this little restaurant here, it's charming as hell.
Yeah.
And when you finish your meal, the restaurant cat is gonna come and check your bone out. Chicken? What?
Chicken bone out?
Excuse me. We'll edit that out.
Oh, I leave it in.
You're the master.
But they talk about Thais having 13 different smiles.
Ooh, this is new. Okay.
And they all mean, right. Yeah, who you kidding? It's kind of, but no, I find Thai people very refreshing, and I appreciate the fact that they do
Yeah.
look at you, and it's like you're important to them.
Right.
Yeah, but it is different, and it takes a bit of getting used to.
And I love the fact that they're silly. They appreciate silliness, and that they haven't lost their sense of play.
No.
And and for example, I was riding up by Puchifa, the cloud forest up in there, and I stopped. There was a woman cooking on a grill some chicken, and she had a little boy. He was probably about 3 years old, and I was waiting my turn because she was serving some monks, and so I'm like, I was going to be patient and just do my thing. But this kid and I, we started goofing off and playing, right? And we had a cup and a stick, and that kept us busy for like 45 minutes. And we're laughing and throwing the cup and twirling with the stick, just goofing off. Anywhere in the United States, no way. Get away from my child. You must be, you must be a criminal or something like that. No, wait a minute. Wait. I'm a father of 2, right? I've got grandkids. I like kids. I'm a registered volunteer with the Big Brothers Volunteer Association. I had a little brother. I've been fingerprinted by the FBI so I could volunteer. They don't know this. They don't care. You're like a male. That's a problem. Whereas this mom, she was just happy to have me keep the kid out of her hair for a while she's cooking. Yeah.
It is very different in that respect, that people
Yeah.
have a lot more trust.
Yeah.
But I think that boils down to the fact that there is not much crime inside.
Yeah. Right.
We don't have child abductions.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
I mean, it's sad that it's happened.
The fact that you were just white,
Yeah.
wouldn't have bothered me.
Right. I mean, it's sad that those tragic things happen in the world, But it's also sad that there's so much fear that people can't just be themselves. And you know what? The kid misses out. If I walk past and I say, oh, I better not try to like play with a cup and a stick and a kid because the parents might be afraid, well, then the kid misses out. And so here I can just, I can be myself. I can be a grandpa and not be, considered a threat. And so that's kind of nice. And I just find that it's a lot more relaxed, like what you say with the My Pen Rai attitude. The everything's okay. We're gonna, it's all good. Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Just let it go.
hang loose.
Yeah, my pen right and my me bun high.
My pen, my me.
My me bun high.
What does that mean?
Basically the same thing. It's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a little bit different to my pen right.
Okay.
Only slightly.
Okay.
My pen right is more about an internal attitude. It's
Okay.
kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm calm, everything's fine. Whereas
Yeah.
If I step on somebody's foot,
Mm.
well, it's different.
Okay.
It's my pen
Got it.
A little bit different.
Okay.
But it's pretty much the same. So, I had a question on my mind just a moment ago.
Oh yeah.
But it seems like that was about 74 years ago. I find aging is fun, but it's not fun when your memory becomes very short.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're I'll be repeating myself in 10 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, so you feel welcomed by the people.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say to all these people that tell you that, Thai people are just going to cheat you and steal from you, and they don't like you, they don't want to see you.
You watch too much TV, or
You're watching too much negative YouTube.
yeah. You need to be boots on the ground,
Yeah.
and okay. Here's the thing. I used to build art for Burning Man, who's the largest art festival in the world up there in Nevada, and every once in a while when you're building some large or notable art, people will say, oh, I'm going to go to Burning Man and I'm going to build art. Well, great, that's what everybody does. You are an artist by decision. How many tickets did you buy? Well, I don't have any tickets yet, but I'm going to build this big structure and it's going to have flames and dancing girls and whatever. It's like, dude, call me when you buy your ticket. And the same could be said with people and passports. Because a lot of my friends would, or people I know would say, oh, I've always wanted to do that. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to do that. I was like, well, do you have a passport? I think it's step one, gang. Come on. It's and it doesn't cost that much, and you have an alternate form of ID. And when you look at that book that your government sends you, and says, wow, this means I can go anywhere in the world. That's step one. And so I encourage people to get the passport, because if anything, even if you don't come here or go anywhere in the world, at least you'll know that you could.
One thing I've got to defend for the American people is most places in the world give you an annual leave of 6 to 8 weeks. The only place I know of that only has 2 weeks is America.
Oh, you're talking about vacation, annual leave. Okay, yeah.
And on 2 weeks,
Right.
that makes it pretty difficult to go to a place like Thailand. It's going to take you a day to get here, a little bit more,
Yeah,
a day to recover, maybe a little bit more,
right.
and then you've got the same trip going back. So you wind up with about 5 days of holiday
Yeah.
out of your 2 weeks vacation.
Temple.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, restaurant.
Yeah. 7-Eleven.
So I kind of feel for American people in that respect, because they're not given the time to be able to get away, more than 150 miles from home and visit
Yeah.
their relatives. It's hard. Passport won't solve the problem, but I do agree it is step one.
Yeah. This is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. To my Yank friends, you work too hard.
Yeah. They could learn from some Thais about that.
Yeah. Well, so our day. I mean, and thank you for inviting me to to spill my. But yeah, thank you for allowing me to invite myself. Yeah, because I told Ray that his videos were an inspiration to me, and that if he ever wanted to talk to me, by all means. And it turned out that this little spot is just right down the hill from where I live, and it was raining all night at your place.
I don't know. I slept most of the night, but it was raining this morning when I woke up at 5 o'clock.
I sleep so good here. I didn't know either, but it was awful wet, but it was just gorgeous. And then you have your morning coffee at home. We came here. We had some cappuccinos, and I had a little breakfast. And it's just the pace of it is so welcoming, and I feel my life getting simpler, and I feel it just kind of toning down. And I think I'll be a high energy person as long as I can, but there's a lot about this place that kind of helps you get there. Like, go get a 90-minute Thai massage, and choose the experienced woman who, by her age, you will know she's got the strongest hands in the joint, and she's gonna break your back, and it's gonna be great, and then you're gonna be that much more relaxed.
Massages are so inexpensive for us.
Yeah.
For that masseuse, it's very, very hard work.
Absolutely.
Very hard work.
Yeah.
They earn every part.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I tip them well, and that's another thing that's different here is tipping.
That's not the norm.
Oh, you know what? I used to feed a family off of tips when I was a casino bartender, and now it's just out of control. They have a tip jar at the tire store. It's just like, come on. But here it's almost like they're a little bit like for street food. They're it's almost unwelcome where they it's 40 baht. What are you doing?
Normally people will just leave the change. And
Yeah.
when I say change, I'm talking about coins.
Right.
Not. But last night was the very first time I'd seen this.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered a pizza over grab food.
Okay.
Didn't feel like going in.
Yeah. Good.
And by the time I got through the order and the delivery fee, it popped up and said, "How much tip would you like to give the driver?"
Oh, before they arrived.
10 baht, 20 baht, 30
Mm-hmm.
baht, and 50 baht.
Yep.
And that was right there on the screen.
Yeah. And that is all over the place in the United States now.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah. So it and that Grab is probably grabbing just a little bit of that.
And they're getting about 30% of the price of that pizza.
Well, sure, yeah. So it's better to pay cash. I mean, whenever possible, I pay cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't. I gave them the 10 baht too.
There you go. Yeah. Right on.
And I even debated of saying number 2. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
So, you think you'll get beyond your 3 months?
My contract that I made for myself is I'll do a gut check in about a year. That I've got the smoky season is a concern for me because I was in Chiang Mai at the beginning of smoky season a few years back, and I'm like, no way.
Well, Chiang Mai is far worse than Chiang Rai. But I must tell you, this recent smoky season we just finished, that was the worst I've seen it.
That's what I heard, and that, yeah. Oops, sorry.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was so bad.
I saw one traveler say, he says, yeah, that's when we travel. I'm like, well, that makes sense to me. I still like to travel, and so I can go back to the U.S. I can go south, go to like Phuket or Krabi, or yeah. There's so many places to go and get away from it. There's the issue with my dog. Like, okay, well, do I take him to a border, or if I take him with, and we'll go by car. But I don't think I want to put him on another plane. But it's yeah, I'll just kind of do a gut check and ask myself, is it still clicking? But man, so far so good. You kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it's just like, but everybody's barefoot. Oh yeah, I heard that hits you about 6 months. You just that at about 6 months here, you get this pit in your stomach, and you just, oh, I can't take it anymore. I need a Starbucks.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you traveled a lot before you came here. You had a traveling lifestyle. Yeah, and so I'm kind of newer to it, and so, but having Chiang Rai as a home base. I mean, do you ever get the feeling like when you expound the virtues of Chiang Rai, and people go, yeah, I'm going to move there, and then people like me, now I'm here, that increased the population by 1, and if that, I mean, that's probably how it started in Chiang Mai, right? It got bigger and bigger. The word got out, right?
Well, there's more Thai people here having children than foreigners coming in, so don't blame us.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see anything wrong with it, and it's okay. Well, let's look at it the other way. What would it take to get me to go back to the United States? All right. So first of all, the real estate market would have to be crazy good. Like my phone's ringing off the hook because I kept my number, and yeah, if clients needed me, and I'm like, there's a good amount of money to be made if I want to go work another year, and it'd be fun, and well, maybe not as fun as here. It would be expensive. I would get out the spreadsheet again. I would look at it like, okay, if there's great opportunity, then yes. There's risk there that I get sucked back into the machine, right, of consumerism and treadmill of earning money, spending money, earning money, spending money. Then, and let's say I get back there and one of my family members has ill health or something like that, then I get a feeling like, oh, I can't leave, You can get into... I have a fear of going back because of what might keep me there. That I wouldn't feel as free to leave there as I do here. It took some doing to come here, and I rented a dumpster that was the size of this whole area we're sitting. That's about 12 feet up. That big. And I chucked my whole life into it, and I came here with 2 suitcases. And I had some stuff in storage in a little attic area, and that's fine. But the purge of that felt so good that you don't realize how your life is being held down by physical possessions until you just get rid of it all.
One of the biggest problems in life, attachment.
Yes. Yeah.
Not just the physical.
Yeah. And there's some Buddhist insights on that as well. Yeah. So just all, and then when I looked at it, when the dumpster's half full, sitting in my driveway, and okay, well they're going to pick it up in a week and it's going to be full. Like looking at it, the top layer is all you can see. You're like, do I need any of that? And then another layer goes in. Did I need any of that? Because it's all just piled in, and instead of like being in order, everything in its place in your home, and you feel so much less attachment to it, and it's like it's okay that it's in a dumpster now. I was never once tempted to go back into a dumpster and retrieve something I chucked into it. So,
just going back a little bit, I think one of the reasons that I personally have never regretted coming here is that I was very clear in my mind on why I was leaving those roots. Very clear. And I know damn good and well I don't want to go back to it.
I get it. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. That you were... It's almost like the opposite of a very clear goal.
Yeah.
right? When you're very clear, like laser focused on what you're trying to accomplish. And we've all been in that state. But when you're laser focused on what you want to cast aside, it's in the dumpster.
I knew that whatever I faced in Thailand was going to be better
Yeah.
than what I was facing.
Right.
Didn't want them in.
One thing I did right was I was actually planning to move here a year ago, and I bought a one-way ticket, and I was going to pull it off, but then I was unable to get everything together. So what I did was I bought a return ticket, and I made this because I'd never been to Chiang Rai. I'd been to as far north as Chiang Mai. I saw pictures, I watched your videos, I got a good idea, but I don't think it's wise to move to a town, to a city destination without actually exploring the city. So what I turned that trip into is it wasn't about tourism, because I'd done some Thai tourism, but it was about checking out the town as like, can my life fit here? Is this the right town? So I had to make sure, okay, is there a bank? Is there a mall? Is there, can I get a good dentist? Just things where I had to go and physically see and touch and know. And I remember just being like on one of those little errands from one to the other going, yep. This is my town. Because I turned that into a vacation instead, I had one more town to check out. So I was enamored by cloud forests, So I went to Dalat, Vietnam. I hopped over to there. And I actually did have the option to stay here the whole month. But I said, no, 2 weeks is enough. I know this is the town for me. Now it's vacation time. And I took the other 2 weeks of the trip and went to Dalat. And that was neat. But it also confirmed for me that not all towns and countries in Southeast Asia are the same. Not at all. One big turnoff for me in Vietnam that I saw was the noise. They are in love with their horns on their motorbikes, and the trash. They just have a different. I suppose it's understandable when it used to be the street food vendor would serve you your food in a banana leaf, but now that everything's plastic, they just don't. They in my opinion, they have not come to terms with it yet, and so people chuck things out their window.
I find it interesting that when I go to 7-Eleven, for instance, and I buy some ketchup in a plastic bottle.
Can I interrupt? 7-Eleven? There's a 7-Eleven here?
There's quite a few.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the ketchup is in a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
I maybe grab a croissant or something off the shelf and it's in a plastic bag.
Okay.
Maybe I'll grab a salad and it's in a plastic
Right.
container.
Yep.
But they won't give me a plastic bag to carry them away because plastic bags are bad for the environment.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. Save the children.
We've probably gone beyond the attention span of
Oh, sure.
most of these viewers. So
You want to close with a song, or? You can do it. Get your passport, and there's good videos out there, and you can learn quite a bit about it. But if it's not this town, it could be a different one. And the United States is less confining than you think once you get out. And I recommend go.
explore the world.
Yes.
Okay, folks. So that's it for this time. Say goodbye to Damien.